Okay, well, so when I look at my research questions, my first question, what factors do teachers of high school freshman social studies courses consider when deciding to integrate technology into their lesson? Really tried to be as specific as I could about the participants. Um, and then when I look at why I need to know this, really what I'm trying to get at the heart of is the motivation, is what I realized as to what makes a teacher integrate technology. And then I started thinking, well, in addition to that, what is deterring them, or what factors would dissuade them from doing this, and hoping to gain a better understanding of that. It's a process that I continue to find when I'm doing this, is that sometimes a question that I've asked can actually be divided into two questions, and I think you may see that progression as I move forward. What kind of data will answer this question? Looking at some structured and unstructured interviews of those teachers, of the high school freshmen in the social studies class, trying to be specific about that. Really, the attention is on those teachers, but also observations of the lesson. Maybe there are some things that the teacher doesn't realize is obstructing their ability to integrate technology, and so I think the observation may be a valuable piece there. Also, if I have the ability to observe common planning sessions, and this may be difficult to find, but I think it would be a value experience to sit and listen to some teachers plan and talk about why they're going to do something, and maybe look at how they're going to integrate technology, and maybe kick that around. Um, who can best provide this information? I think really the best information is coming from the teacher themselves, because they're ultimately the ones that are experiencing this. My second question is, what components of a professional development session on technology do teachers of high school freshman social studies courses find useful for integrating technology into their own lessons? And really what I'm looking at there are the professional development piece, and what things in that are included in a professional development session are going to be effective. When I'm designing my own professional development program, I'd like to kind of know this so that I can incorporate that. Um, the data collection methods, again, observation of the professional development session, I think is key. Observations of common planning sessions conducted by the teachers of the freshman social studies teachers. Um, Again, something that may not be at my disposal, but I think it would be a valuable piece of information if I could gain that. Interviews of teachers who teach freshman social studies courses, both structured and unstructured. Um, just trying to get into their mindset as to what they like, what they don't like. And then focus groups of those teachers who have found useful components of technology integration, professional development. And I think maybe after those interviews, I may be able to find a focus group based on that. One thing I'm concerned about with this data collection method is that, what if the teachers feel like something is going to make that technology effective, or technology integration effective, but ultimately it really is not? And then I just have to tell myself that really what I'm looking for is to try to understand the phenomenon, and so it doesn't necessarily matter if it's going to actually work. It's really what I'm concerned more about is what they feel is going to be important. And then from there, then I have to ask myself a personal question: what's more important to me? Would I rather have more effective technology professional development, or would I rather understand what teachers feel is effective? And so that's another whole road to go down. Who can best provide this information? Teachers of high school freshmen, of course, I think are going to be able to provide me again with the best information, because they are ultimately the ones that are going to be experiencing this. Um, the next question: what roadblocks do teachers of high school freshman social studies courses encounter while integrating technology during a lesson? Um, Really getting at what's getting in the way, what obstacles are they experiencing, because I want to know that so that I can maybe try to prevent some of those from occurring, or provide strategies that will help them overcome those obstacles, whether it be in a professional development session, or as an administrator in a building trying to eliminate some of these distractions, obstacles, roadblocks. Again, survey responses, hopefully open-ended ones, structured interviews, observations of teachers planning, implementing, and reflecting on lessons where technology was integrated, and reflective essays or journals from those teachers to kind of get their experiences. Um, Teachers who have implemented technology into their lessons at all skill levels. This is where I'm trying to figure out, you know, who is the best person to really give me this information. And I have a fork in the road. Do I go with teachers who are very tech savvy because their experiences are going to be a little bit different than those who don't really or are not really familiar with technology, and so I really might need to look at my question a little bit more and decide whether I'm going to approach the whole general population of those teachers or those teachers who are also tech savvy or not tech savvy. And that just gives me yet another specific on that teacher. They're already going to be from high school. They're already going to be teaching freshmen. They're already going to be teaching social studies teachers or social studies courses. And so yet another descriptor that would even make that a little bit more specific. And I wonder how many of those that I end up narrowing down to the point where how valuable is my information. And that's, again, as a researcher, something that you have to approach. Next question is, what is the perception of high school freshman social studies students who experience a lesson that integrated technology? And I thought with this question I would come more from the perspective of the student and try to find out what their perception is, because I like to understand the effect that technology integration has on them, and assess their need for the resources that are dedicated to this cause. I know we look at putting a lot of energy into this, but we need to know, is this for a good cause? Maybe we're putting the wrong stuff in. Maybe we're doing it in the wrong way. Be nice to know and understand the student's perspective of things. Um, Gathering data from survey responses from those students, structured interviews with those students, observations of students during a lesson to integrate technology, I think will maybe spur some more questions for me to ask in some interviews. And then student reflective journals on lessons where technology was integrated. I think the challenge here is getting those students to participate. It might be a little bit more challenging than getting teachers to participate. Again, then there's the parent issue and getting the clearance and those things. And so this may be a hard question to understand, but yet I still think it's very interesting. And of course, the targeted participants, the people that would answer the question for me, would be high school freshmen enrolled in social studies courses. Another spin on this would be to observe this and not actually get student input, but then it would be a perspective from the researcher's point of view, and I'd be interested to see whether that would be acceptable or not. My last question is, what factors contribute to motivating a high school freshman social studies teacher to integrate technology into their lesson? Kind of gets to the first question I had, but it specifically mentions the motivation part. And again, if I can understand what motivates a teacher to integrate technology, I might be able to better design professional development or improve classroom conditions so that technology integration happens. Again, using survey responses, structured interviews, observations of the teacher's planning, implementing and reflecting on lessons where technology was integrated, and reflective essays or journals from those participants would be, I think, good data collection methods. And my the people that would answer that question for me would be the high school freshman social studies teachers who are intending on integrating technology into their lesson.